All right. Welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR podcast presented by Sports Mockery and Homage. My name is Dave. I cover the Bears for sportsmockery.com, and I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky, Bears content creator. We have, like I said, back-to-back episodes. It feels like we went live Monday, had an episode for you guys there recapping training camp, rookie training camp. It went great. A lot of fun. And today we are back. We're going to watch. I'm not sure if Nick Whalen of the Bears With Us podcast, who's going to join us here in a moment, has watched the YouTube video or the schedule release video that went by the Bears, but we're going to throw it live on here and we're going to react for the first time, at least for Ficky and I. But I guess let's just go ahead and bring in Nick here. Don't even give him a heads up. Nick, can you hear us, man?
Yeah. How's it going, boys?
Hey,
what's up,
hanging
Nick?
in there,
How
man.
you doing,
Dude,
how you feeling about a happy schedule day? Do you care? Because there's some people it's like it's the teams. It doesn't really matter when we play, or do you kind of get excited about it?
I'm only excited because I want to see like who has a bye week before we play them. You know what I mean? Like I want to see like the advantages it can have. Other than that, like we already know who we're playing. We know it's with the third easiest schedule. Like
right.
I'm pumped. So to me, it's like I already like before you guys have me on. I'm like writing down who the other opponent plays the week before us because I like look at it like mathematically.
No, that's the way to look at it because that's what matters most, right? When you play people, at what time. You know what I mean? Which is, we'll talk about it, but our back half of the schedule is quite interesting when you talk about when we decide to play people, important games. So
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So Nick, have you watched this video live yet?
Yeah, I checked it out.
You checked it out. Okay. If you don't mind, we're just going to throw it on, react to the first time. Ficky and I have not watched it.
Okay.
And that's on me. I should have told you that if you could have held back, but just act like it, I guess. Okay. So, Ficky, let's go ahead and get started. So we are reacting again to the Bears 2024 schedule release video, which has just become a thing now with the last 3 years or so.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
I don't know. I feel like it's been pretty recent, but we'll go ahead and get started on it. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and give our thoughts. So let me go ahead and bring it full screen here.
A new year. Exciting, isn't it? Let me show you around. You've got your class clowns, your sportos, your popular kids. Let me introduce you to DJ. If there is anyone who knows their way around this place, it's him.
I saw DJ wearing a beige jacket, so I bought a beige jacket.
Well, that's intense. Anyway, as the kids say, he's a pretty righteous dude.
Oh, thank you.
Can he hear me?
Y'all don't hear the bell! The bell is wrong! Get the class!
And here's the D.
Oh.
You should probably avoid him.
Whoa, scared. Detention. That's where you need to go.
Make that 2 people to avoid.
So, yep. Turn it around.
Here we find the mathlete. They were runner-up last year, but that's pretty good. Now, this kid right here went completely unnoticed, and then bam, suddenly they're the envy of the entire school. This exchange student was actually from Florida before moving to England. Or was it England then Florida? Wait, who's this?
He doesn't even go here.
And if you can help it, avoid your ex. Well, that's just gross. Try not to get on anyone's bad side. Watch this.
DJ.
I'm not feeling so well.
What's wrong?
It's my.
Don't you throw up in this class?
I might be able
Nope.
to.
Out.
Ding, ding, ding. Record timing.
Not my best performance, but never a doubt.
You guessed it. Drama class. They can't all be the greatest show on stage every year.
What's up, man? I got those keys you asked for.
Thanks, man. Where's Tevin?
Tevin! Group detention. Nice touch.
I don't know why y'all don't want to listen. Listen, man, you want to get money to be able to be fashionable like your dean? Come on, man. You got to do all the right things, baby.
It's real rich coming from you.
Okay. You know what? You just got a detention for Sunday, too.
Sign me up.
That's
The Young Gravy.
Oh, I'm destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, you mess with the bull, young man, you gonna get the horns.
Time to go.
You see anybody coming here?
Just some old dude out of breath.
Yeah, okay. They think it's a game out here. Okay.
The season moves fast. If you don't slow down once in a while, you'll miss it.
Oh, freshman year. Here we go.
Nice touch.
That was good. I was wondering when he was coming in Rome.
Good old Ferris Bueller.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. See you this fall.
The fact that they picked DJ.
Dude, DJ is the lead actor in this is so funny.
That's funny. Yeah, they love their Chicago references. That's for sure. The Bear last year, this year, Ferris Bueller. They're going to run out of Chicago movies, though, here sooner or later. I mean, I guess
they're going to have to. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Nick. Second time watching it. Anything you caught that you didn't? First time, overall score 1 through 10.
I'd probably give it. I mean, I like these because I think it's fun. It highlights people. I'd probably give it a 7. One of my favorite things is when they checked out the phone, it looked down and it was Carolina at the DJ. I didn't see that the first. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Like, there get some little jokes in there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think overall it was good. Last year I think it was hard to top. Going into this one, I'm a big fan of the Bear. I'm not sure how you feel on it, Nick. But I mean that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah. But there were some nice touches. I really liked Rome and Caleb obviously coming off the bus, freshman year, that little take on that. But anyways, I would probably give it. Ficky, what was your score? Did you give one or no?
No, I was going to agree with Nick. I was going to say a 7. Like production quality was good. Acting could have been a little better, but they're football players, right? I love Spice Adams, so thankfully they put some comedic relief in there with him. So
just an old guy out of breath. I thought that was an awesome line.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah. So I mean, like overall, they did a good job, but like, I mean, I'm sure the Chargers, whatever they dropped, is probably like a 10 out of 10. They have been killing it since this has been a thing, right? Like every year they're, and then you can't beat last year's Titans.
Well, their anime,
their anime thing was crazy.
Is insane. Like I don't know how you can like compete
their
with
budget.
That.
Their budget.
Yeah, the budget. It's LA. They go big.
The one thing with that though is like last year it was like Tennessee, Chargers. I think Carolina had a solid like schedule drop. All those teams sucked. So like maybe we don't want to be 10 out of 10. Maybe like this is true. A good spot.
Money's going to the wrong resources there, right? Yeah.
It's like Moneyball. Like he wants to see the money on the field,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully.
All right. So let's get to the actual schedule and kind of what I want to kind of go through some of these games. I'll start with you, Nick. Kind of what I want to do, maybe start with like our favorite matchup or two that we're really looking forward to. And then I have a couple other questions just in regards to week 1. And of course we'll have our predictions, which way too early. I know it's kind of pointless giving, predicting these games or predicting records, but I mean, it's fun. It's like fantasy, you got to do it. So Nick, first of all, what game pops out here that you're like, I can't wait. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. For me, it's probably one that people aren't going to expect because most people are going to go like CJ Stroud, like that game. I'm going to go the week after at Indianapolis. Flus is going back home. Richardson, I mean, he's going to be hyped up. They got a squad, man. They got receivers there. They got some talent with the Colts. I mean, when you look at like power rankings, the Bears and Colts are like right next to each other. So like, I think that's going to be a good gauge for how good is Chicago after week 3. I think we'll know.
Yeah. I like that one. I'm a big fan of Anthony Richardson, and it sucks that he got hurt last year. Was out early, or he was out for the rest of the year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. Ficky, what about you? What are you thinking?
Man, to be honest, like, give me week 1, man. This is the first time we're gonna see Caleb Williams on the field, and I know it's the Titans, so on paper, it's it's not as exciting as some of these other teams, but it's week 1. right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to take you guys back to what happened last week 1, right? I don't last year's week 1. I want to walk away from a week 1 game feeling good for once, right? And we haven't had that in such a long time. Because normally we're playing the Packers week 1. It seems like the NFL loves to put that one there first. Luckily, they put them last this time. But I think that week 1, if we can really, obviously, like Nick, you talked about it, like you can't really gauge these you have to gauge these teams kind of like 4-game buckets, right?
Yeah.
You don't really know the team until like a couple games in. But if Caleb Williams can come out and look competent week 1, man, whoo, I think that'll really get me hyped for the rest of the season.
I think it's a pretty I feel like the first 5 games, 6 games, like there's some like on paper might be pretty good matchups for the Bears, but we'll get to that in a minute. But as far as my favorite, obviously week 1 is so exciting. Like I can't wait for it, of course. I honestly was feeling, Eberflus Colts, but I'll just go with give me Green Bay week 18, just because I feel like it's going to mean something this time. I know we talk about it the last 2 years, like, playing Green Bay late in the season, especially last year where we had a chance to potentially make the playoffs if we ran the table playing Green Bay. And then, of course, Justin, if he would have at least had a good performance and maybe even won that game, probably not. But it just felt like it would have been a little bit more of a fun conversation. But the way that kind of ended and it was flat, everyone was like, okay, not time for Caleb Williams. But for me, week 18 this year in 2024, you would hope it's for playoff seeding, maybe even for the division possibly. So I feel like that one, and it's away, right? So it's in Lambeau.
Yep.
I mean, and that one could be epic, man. It really could be fun. Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. I just feel like a lot could be on the line. Also, I guess maybe everything could be set at that point too. So who knows? But I'll go week 18 just because it could have some dramatic, type, theater as far as what it means.
That was my second one, Dave. And a fun fact to why that would be my second one is because does anybody know the last time the Bears won in Lambeau Field?
That was the Eddie Jackson sprained his ankle game, right?
Nope. That was the last time we beat them. That's what I thought too. But that was in Chicago. Yep. That was also week 18. But he got the interception and then got injured. Unfortunately, that's Bears luck. Like just not even getting touched. 2015, Jay Cutler, 24-17. So, if Caleb's really that dude and you want to make a statement week 18 in Lambeau, win it. Maybe there are some, complications with that game.
Yeah.
Like I could see, if you want to talk about an NFL script, wouldn't that be a perfect script for us and Caleb to kind of be like, this is my team now.
Well, like the analyzing stuff that I do here, and I try to do it quick, like even some during the video, because I've seen it, and I got 2 things. One thing that pisses me off about the schedule, okay, to get started about things I'm not happy about, is we play Green Bay week 11. They come off their bye week. That's when we played them. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Because like we come off our bye week, we play Washington. It's like, come on. And then, but we have a little favor here. Week 17, Thursday night football, Seattle. And then we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday of extra rest to play Green Bay, who has to travel to Minnesota. So they're, it's a short trip, but like you think of like in time of rest, that's a big advantage. Like, Warren Sharp puts out stuff like they have a lot of analytics. And if you have, I think it's 3 or more days extra rest, you have like a 57% chance of winning, no matter who the opponent is. So like that's something okay, schedule makers made that up to us a little bit,
And honestly, if you want the favor, I'd rather have it against Green Bay in Lambeau, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're gonna say it was even odds, like the likelihood that we'll win at home is probably a little bit better if we were gonna take one. As I just said, we haven't won there in 9 years, so maybe it's actually more in our favor that we kind of get screwed on the first one, but the second one, which could be more important, they give us those extra 3 days. So
I got a little present for you guys. You guys didn't expect this, but if you guys want to check out the screen here, I'm gonna move this up real quick. We're rocking.
Oh,
no
that's
way.
That's fire.
Wait a second. First of all, that's a really quick turnaround because that photo came out yesterday, 2 days ago, Nick?
Yeah, that came out so quick. Did you get that skipped already, or was that already? Were you ahead of the curve?
Did you make? I try to get ahead of. Well, I got a couple things brewing. Okay, so people, if you remember, my license plate is Fields 1. Okay, you know, and people get new jerseys and stuff, and I put in for Caleb 18 up here in Wisconsin. So you know, hopefully it's in the making. But this one, I look right away for some like good gear, you know.
Yeah.
And this one just feels so right to not be just Caleb, because you got like this is the first time that I think a receiver and a quarterback have been drafted in the first round together, and I can't remember how long. Someone said it's a
very
long time.
Very
so
long time.
like it just feels right. So I was like, all right, I got to get something. So and I wanted first time I've worn this, guys, is on your show.
Hey, we love that. No, we have to cop that one now because that is fire, and I love that they did not only with Rome and Caleb, but they did it with DJ Moore and
Cole Kmet.
Yeah, that was fire. I mean,
Yeah,
hey, look,
first of all,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm excited about that sweater. Like how did you get it? Or I guess you could DM me. Like I need to order one. I'll pay premium price because that's sick, dude. That is so awesome. And I think even if it doesn't even work out, or if it works out like 50% of what we think it could be, that connection, it's just gonna be a great little historical item, like to have.
Like think about this, guys. Okay, remember the first play of the first preseason game? This screen to DJ Moore, right? And we were just like, oh, like we are here. We got 3 of those guys now. It's not like not 2. We got 3. It's like it feels like we can't mess it up. It's set up so well for Caleb.
Yeah.
I hope
I
hope you're right, Nick, because
I trust
we've
Nick
messed up. We've messed up so much before, but but that's more like PTSD. But you're right. Like, I mean, if you look at every position on offense, right, there is literally no excuses for Caleb to not thrive. Like in the complete opposite of what Fields was. Like Ryan Poles had to come in here and say that year doesn't count because you didn't have anything. Now let's see this year. With Caleb, you can get answers very quickly on like what you're not good at and what you are, because the weapons around you are, is the best weapons any rookie quarterback's probably ever had. The only possible excuse is maybe injuries on the offensive line, but even still, there's so many weapons that it almost outweighs some of the questions on the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see.
I'm not even worried. I was going to say that's Nick. I feel like there is a little bit more depth, especially with Karan and his injury. I think he's going to be fine, at least perhaps by week 1. But for me, I feel really good actually about the offensive line, and maybe that's the weapons coming over too, and everything. The vibes are really kind of high right now for the offensive side, and honestly, the defense too. It's a weird time to be a Bears fan, honestly, because I feel good about both sides of the football, which is not always the case, as we know. So
never the case. But Nick, another thing with the line too, last thing on the line is that also the line might look better on film because they won't have to block as long as well. Like I think the reads are going to be quicker, right? And also so Caleb's going to be able to make quicker decisions, as we know. And then also wide receivers are probably going to be open quicker because of the number of good wide receivers and the wide receiver talent. So hopefully that can help alleviate some of the pressure on the line, so where they don't have to block as long, and you don't start to see a lot of those sacks and blown plays and things like that. So I think it benefits both.
It's like I dare Minnesota to do the stuff they tried last year. Like I dare you.
Good luck.
You could
send 10. Good luck.
Like yeah. And it's another thing too is like, I know we love the Bears. You know, people are watching this like we all like they love the Bears too. But it doesn't feel like it's Bears fandom, because when I check power rankings, when I check the national guys, it's
right,
like
Nick,
Bears are like 13th to 15th. Like everyone's got them having this big jump. And this is with Caleb like being probably a rookie quarterback or maybe a little better. Like if he comes in, he's top 10, like which he literally could be. I mean, it's like lights out, man. We got it.
Yeah. Oh, it's done. it's done if that's the case. If he comes in and hits like kind of like his rookie ceiling, that's easily.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's one of the more exciting parts about Caleb right now is we don't know what to expect. Like he could have CJ Stroud type start or season. He could have some struggles, but I feel like all in all, I don't think it's going to be like a really down year for him. I feel like it's going to be because they built such a great support system around him. We've already talked about the weapons and everything that comes with this. And then you have the defense, the coaching. It just feels like the floor for him. And then of course the team is just, you feel good about it when you think about it, you know? So for me, we'll get to our predictions, but I want to go through because Nick, you're probably a little bit better on us when it comes to quarterbacks and everything. So you saw the video with him and his release that was I think it was to Bayless, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome or who else am I missing?
I don't think Rome was in that.
Tyler
was it?
Scott.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, not Rome. Anyways, it was quick. You saw his footwork. I think his right leg, was ahead of his left. Like those little things there. First of all, were you excited? What can you take away from, I know there's no pads, no pass rush, but the difference between that and what we saw with Fields, it just looked a little smoother and of course faster. So I want to get your take on that real quick before we hop into some predictions.
I hope you guys can't hear my dog right now going nuts. I'm going to go get her in a second, but
no, I can't.
So that's good. So there's like a rabbit or a squirrel outside. I'm telling you right now, but they're warning.
I've been there. I have 3 of them, man. Sometimes they just
get
go
out of the
crazy.
yard,
Yeah.
To me, there's a few things that I've been more impressed with Caleb than I thought I would in terms of just how he carries himself, because there's the maturity aspect of it, that where he's saying the things that we were scared of. Like, it's like, okay, that's not in there. He's gonna be the selfish guy, whatever. But I've seen videos of him working on some of the mechanics of his release, the timing of it, how quick it has to go, how his feet have to match up. Like, he's doing a lot of different things already. And then you see the video that you talked about, and everything is just smooth. It's effortless. Like, the whole motion is. And the other thing too is, like, you look there, he's thick, y'all. Like, he's not like a little dude. I know he's not tall, but he's thick. So you look at, like, in terms of think of baseball, think of golf. Like, you have to get your hips into this too, and you can see everything is working in synchronized. And so to me, it just seems so smooth. And when I hear people that were at Hallis Hall, that were at some of the OTAs and practices, they just said everything just seemed so different when he was on the field. Like, there was a sense of calm. It's like, okay, he's got this, and everything's just as it should be.
Love it.
And it's crazy because he's calm, like you said, Nick, but the expectations are just, you got to think they're pretty high. I feel like everyone that talks nationally and of course in Chicago, I'm trying to be a little bit more skeptical just because we've been high on this team, quite a bit the last few years. You got after the 2018 season, you have Justin Fields and his era where there was some excitement, some real excitement. And then this year it's like, man, if there's any time to really, put all your eggs in the basket, it's right now with this current roster and in year 1 and 2, honestly. It is fun to see. And I think you talked about his stature. Like, there was a picture of him in Rome on the Bears website. I'd probably bring it up. But, like, Rome's a pretty big guy. I'm like, Caleb's holding his own, like you said. Like, I know he's 6'1", but, man, he just looks a little bit bigger than his frame, I guess, on paper. So, Ficky, I know you love this.
Of course, who doesn't? Like, what Bears fan watches this and is not at least somewhat excited about it, right? Like, obviously, this excitement is kind of contained when you step back and know, like, yeah, this is just practice. They don't even have pads on. But, to not be excited would be not for you to not be a fan. So, but I think I want to talk about, you mentioned the high expectations, which I think are very much true, right? From the outside, media, national media, local media. But what I think also is true is that expectations are high for Caleb himself. He sets very high expectations. He talks about that on a couple of interviews he's done, especially like the Pivot podcast, that hour-long one. He definitely talked about some of the expectations he set for himself. So based off what I've kind of viewed of Caleb and how he's presented himself, I think he's the type that sees those high, like, when he sets those high expectations, that's a challenge that he's excited for, right? So I don't feel like I don't have any concern about like what the outside noise is, because I feel like he's already set such internal goals that the outside stuff is nothing compared to what he wants, right? Like, didn't the man say he wanted 8 Super Bowls or something like that? He's trying to beat Tom Brady, right? You can't get more high of expectations than that, right? And to publicly say that, it's different to have it, but you have the confidence in public on a podcast that has hundreds of thousands of viewers to come out there and say, yeah, I want to be the best to ever do it. That's why I'm not concerned with it. It doesn't mean that's going to happen. We don't know. Time will tell. There's a lot of variables that go into it, but I'm kind of excited that his approach through this whole thing is like, no, I'm going to be that guy, along with the help of my teammates, not being selfish, but like, I'm going to make sure that I do everything possible to be the guy that you build a statue in front of the new stadium, wherever it's at. And so I'm excited about that, because we haven't had a quarterback like that ever before, ever before. And then you tie that in with the talent on film. It's like, wow, thank you, Lovie Smith, because we really lucked into probably the greatest situation, at least in my lifetime, that the Bears have ever had.
Yeah. I think it'll be the real test will come when there's going to be adversity in his rookie season. You know, could it be very short? Could it be a game or two where there's a rut, or could they start slow? That's where I really want to see kind of what this team is made of. And we kind of saw it last year, but I mean, it is kind of a different group. You have a different guy leading, the team on offense. Caleb Williams, a rookie. So I think that's going to be a fun test to see. But I want to go through, do we have the preseason games already?
I don't think
I have one that has it. I don't know if it's accurate, but I have.
Yeah, I haven't seen like 100%.
I didn't. Yeah.
What are those ones, Nick? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah. So Kevin Fishman has a tweet if you want to go search him, but he has Hall of Fame game. Obviously he has to. That'd be cool. He has it against the Tennessee or against the Houston Texans, which I don't think that could be right because they're playing the Texans week 2.
No, it is. The Hall of Fame game is versus the Texans because I predicted we were going to play the Texans week 1, and people were like, "Oh, but we just played them in the Hall of Fame game," and I'm like, "But that'd be great national TV." But yeah, it's against the Texans. Yeah,
okay,
which is interesting.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, I don't know if that's correct, but I mean, Kevin's a reliable guy. So,
yeah, he wouldn't post it without. I don't think he would, at least. Okay, yeah. So Houston, that's gonna be a fun game. I mean, Hall of Fame, of course. And then you got Buffalo, Cincy, Kansas. I'm just excited. I don't know how much Caleb. I guess we can ask that. You think Caleb's gonna play a decent amount, Nick?
I think he should. Because there's always the threat of like, okay, he could get injured, which I get. But if someone needs reps, it's a rookie. And it's with new teammates. Like everything has to be better timing, and you only get that within live game reps.
Yeah,
I don't think he plays till week 2 though. I don't think he plays the Hall of Fame game. Normally the starting quarterbacks don't play in those ones. And since we have 4 this year, that's an extra one, right? Because there's normally you get 3, right? And I think the Hall of Fame game is an extra one. I can't remember. I know they're trying to get rid of all of them, Goodell's, but
yeah, they should.
Yeah. So, but I think because have that extra one, I think he won't get like his first minutes until the Bills.
I understand why the preseason games there. And I'm excited to see Booker, of course, like that'll be fun to see. Even Karan if he's healthy, but I think I would love to see more joint practices, Nick. I feel like that's a little bit more fun, and you can kind of. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be a little bit better than all these preseason games. But wait, so we have 4? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think you have the regular 3. Like normally you get 3 a year, and then that's why if you get the Hall of Fame game, you also get to start your OTAs earlier. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, so it's got a positive with it. So
that'll be fun. And of course, Hard Knocks, hopefully, which kind of had a scare earlier today where they said they announced it, but it was from January to like July. So like the off-season version of Hard Knocks. I think it's the Giants are getting it. And I'm honestly pretty excited. Yeah. Like from just a draft room analytic, everything like that. I'm pretty hyped. Nick, how you feel about that?
Well, sorry, just one thing real quick, and I'll talk about that. I just realized this. If you had to pick the 4 like best teams in the AFC, is that who we're playing in the preseason?
Yeah, basically.
It's like
throw in the
regular. We're gonna see some, but is their depth? Does their depth match? I guess
no.
So because I feel like I feel like the Bears actually might be pretty good in that area and in some of these teams.
It's just funny. It's like,
but yeah,
oh, man.
Can you imagine this stretch like in the regular season somehow?
Well, it's bad enough we have to play the 49ers and Lions on the road back to back. But anyways, in terms of Hard Knocks, like I love it. I mean, as a fan, I gobble all that stuff up. I even watched the Tom Brady roast. I think that's brutal. Good. But it's also think of the positive momentum you get. Hardly ever do people watch Hard Knocks and they're like, man, I hate that team now, or I don't believe in Mike McDaniel or Dan Campbell or whomever. It's like, oh, okay. I think that's good PR because a lot of people think Falus is a lame duck head coach right now.
He's not, dude.
They have all these, views of what the Bears are. This could be good, positive PR. Like most of the time they don't make it negative. So I think it's good to have it.
It's almost never negative. Fans end up just like with the Lions. People started, if that team makes the playoffs and your team isn't in there, people become like the fan of that team. So like
I think
people are rooting for the Lions.
there's so many personalities, not even just on the players, but you said the coaches like Flus, I think would be just a fan favorite right away, just nationally. You got hopefully Ryan Poles will probably make some appearances too. I just think the characters, the players, it just seems like this. If they're not going to get it this time, I've said it before. If they don't get it this year, I just don't think the Bears are ever going to get it, because this is just like the perfect timing. I mean, Caleb's a lightning rod as far as eyes, and he's electric. You got Rome Odunze, like you said, Nick. When's the last time we had 2 top 10 picks on the Bears? It's been a while. And then you throw in the quarterback and receiver. There's just a lot of there's just so many positives. And if you're the NFL, I don't see, as far as a cash cow goes and as far as like views, this would be the team if you can nail it down. So I guess if you guys want, we can go ahead and go through our predictions week by week, if that sounds good to you, Ficky and Nick.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So week 1, now this is just barring everyone's staying healthy, of course. We have no idea how this is going to play out. But if everyone's healthy, this is what we're kind of going based off of. So I will try to keep a tally of your guys' win and losses. But if you can do me a favor and keep a track for yourself as well, that'd be great. So week 1, Bears are home, which I found interesting. I like that Caleb, first one is at home, and it is against the Tennessee Titans. We have, I think it's a pretty good matchup. So I'll start with you, Ficky. How are you feeling with this one, and which way are you leaning?
They have Will Levis. We have Caleb Williams. Like, I'm always going to start with the quarterbacks. I don't see how we can't win that game. I know they added some weapons on the offensive side for Will Levis, but I got to go with the Bears on this one, and it's a Kevin Byard revenge game. So maybe he comes out and balls out. So I got to go Titans.
You think it's close?
I got to go Bears. My bad. You don't know with week 1. Like, you see every year in the NFL, there's these games where you're like, oh, this team obviously is better on paper, and they end up losing, right? Because it's week 1. You don't have any historical data on this new regime and new team, like vice versa, each one of them. So you go in there and kind of, let me put it this way. It seems like it's more of a guessing game compared to playing someone week 15, right? Week 15, you're like, okay, we have 14 weeks of this team. We can see what they've done in the last 3 games, how they've attacked this type of defense. This is what they run on offense. You don't have that week 1 as much. You're just looking at last year, but every year you have new teams, new coordinators, new players. So yeah, I would still go Bears on paper, but you just never know.
Okay. So you're picking the Bears week 1. Nick?
What's interesting is the Titans are like that team that needs to rebuild, but then this offseason they just went like all veterans. Like,
so old.
They bring in Tony Pollard, they bring in, Ridley, Hopkins is up there. They traded for Snead from the corner from the Chiefs. Like, it's like you want to go up and like, hey, like, don't you shouldn't be here? Like, this is like, you need to like reset, but they're not. It's kind of like the Vikings, right? Like the Bears did the whole reset with a new regime, and the Vikings are trying to make it work, and it's like, I don't know how it's going to go. I think it's going to be an easy Bears win. Like you said, week 1, you never really know what to expect. But a couple of things is like, while Caleb is new and a rookie, they have a whole new coaching staff, y'all. So like they have to like get used to how is Brian Callahan and all these guys going to learn the new offense and everything, just like things are going for Chicago. So to me, I think that's even. But when you look at talent, especially defense, Chicago is way better than Tennessee right now.
Yeah, and I feel like the offense when it comes to the beginning of the year, I mean, the defense typically is ahead. They what's the word? They just get out faster. It doesn't take as long for an offense to or for a defense to gel and kind of hit the ground running as far as like an offense where it could take a week or 2. You see the Chiefs, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit. So if you're just going both offensive struggle, Nick, like you said, I feel like the Bears defense is just in a different tier here. So I'm going easy one here as far as Bears. I think it's a nice win, and it's at home. I just feel like we can't have another dud. We saw last year. We've had a couple of those, to open the season. So I'll take the Bears. We'll be week 2 in Houston against CJ Stroud and the Texans. Nick, how are you feeling?
I'm going to go loss there. I know that's, it's going to be a tough game. To me, I think that's going to be where, okay, they're a little bit more experienced, a little bit ahead in how this is going. I mean, they got Danielle Hunter rolling with Will Anderson. And we already know how Jalen Petrie is against Chicago, how he was. Like, to me, I think that's rolling. I like what they have. I like D'Amico Ryans a lot. I think that I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think that the Texans win.
I think it could be, possibly, for some reason. I don't know. It depends on how Houston, starts. Like, if it's going to be interesting. But I feel I wish we would have had this one a little bit later, just to get, some games, some snaps under both, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze. But Ficky, before I give my prediction, are you feeling in the same boat as far as Nick?
Yeah, two things. I definitely feel like this could be a loss, right? Just because Houston has proven, right, that they're the better team, right? I know we have new weapons and things like that, but we also have a rookie quarterback, and they have the rookie quarterback that we hope ours beats statistically, right? They have CJ Stroud, who had one of the best rookie seasons last year. So definitely have to go with the Texans. But to your comment about how you wish this one was later, on the other side of the coin, though, this is kind of the NFL like saying, look, we kind of believe that you guys are going to be somewhat good. That's the only reason they put you prime time this early, right? If you look at the last time we were prime time really early, it was that against the Packers, and was that 2019, right? I think we were week 1 Monday Night Football, or maybe that was 2018, and look how that season went pretty well, right? So maybe this is something of the NFL giving us respect and being like, look, we also, unless like something crazy goes wrong, we really view that your team is strong enough to have as many primetime games as you have and to have them this early. So, but yeah, I still think it's probably gonna be a loss. That's to say all that. I still think we lose.
Or that one's prime time.
Yeah, it's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, wow, that would be fun. That's a good matchup. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay here with the loss. So, Ficky, you were a loss as well, correct?
Yep, correct. So
Okay,
I think we're all 1-1.
We're all 1-1 here. Nick, your favorite game, or the one that you're looking forward to most, that you said earlier, Indy. How are we feeling with Flus and the boys?
I wrote down a loss for this one. I mean, I like Richardson. I mean, again, Jonathan Taylor, they got Quentin Nelson. They have a very good O-line. And also it's on the road, so like if you think of all things are fairly equal, they're a fairly good squad being on the road and early in the year with, we got a lot of new pieces. I think that you could argue we're the more talented team, but I think that Shane Steichen, I mean, I like him and what he could do with Richardson, with running and with, I mean, again, they added more weapons, they got Adonai Mitchell to go with Pittman, with Downs, with Alec Pierce, with like the most gigantic athletic tight ends in the NFL. I'm like, man, that's going to be a tough
What
match.
I like about Mitchell is he was wearing number 10 for the amount of receivers that were drafted ahead of him. And I don't know if that means anything. I just like that type of, mentality, especially from a receiver. So that's interesting. So you're 1-2, Nick. I think we're just going to let you go on that note. Your negativity here, 1-2 to start the season. Thank you for coming on the pod, man. No, I feel it. I feel that way. Ficky, are you leaning in the same boat?
No, I'm going to go the opposite direction this time. I think it will be a good test. I am excited to see this one as well, but I feel like we're going to get this dub. I feel like, I guess I said this about week 1, these revenge games, right? And maybe they mean nothing, but this is the Flus revenge game, right? Coming back to Indianapolis in Indiana, right? Where he used to be the defensive coordinator, and he comes in and he shows up and the team balls out. If I were to pick any of these games where I think Caleb Williams has his first opportunity to get 400 yards, I'm picking this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So the Colts were 9-8 last year. Like you said, Nick, pretty good team. That's a pretty good team. And they added, I think they got better. All things you could say here.
Well, 9-8 with Minshew.
That's what I'm saying. You got Richardson. It's going to be tough.
They also got the best D end in the draft too. That fell to them with Laiatu. So they definitely got better.
I was giving you a hard time, Nick, but I'm going to go here. I think it's going to be a close game. At least I hope. But I'm going to go with the loss. I'm going to lean here 1-2 as well. So we have Ficky at 2-1, and then Nick and I at 1-2 for the first 3 games. Ficky, I'm going to start with you here. Week 4 at home again. 2 games on the road. You got the Rams, Matthew Stafford. How are we feeling?
Yeah, so I think this is going to be our first home loss. So I would see us at 2-2 here. Now I know the Rams did lose Donald on defense, but they still have Sean McVay, one of the top 3 head coaches in the league, and their offense is pretty stacked still. So they got Cooper, they got Nakua, they got Stafford still. So I expect that they'll come in here and get business done.
Okay. They are pretty. I mean, they went 10-7 last year.
The playoff team.
A lot of stuff was up and down. So, Nick, are you in the? Are you feeling a loss, win? It's hard to get a read on you because I feel like you're going to pick a win here. That's how I feel.
You're predicting my predictions correctly. How about that one?
So, there we go.
Yeah, I'm going a dub. Mainly because I was thinking between this. It's like, okay, between the Colts and the Rams game, I think we split. This is home game. Also, like you're talking about, they lost Donald. They're trying to be a little bit more of a physical team in terms of their run game. I think that could be an interesting matchup. But I don't know how they defend because, like, I know they got Verse. I know they traded up for his teammate. They got some guys, but like, man, that back end isn't very good. And they are coming off of, if I have it correctly, they played the 49ers the week before, who could beat them up. So I think that we come away with that one, but I think it's close. I mean, you think of like the games, like these are all, I think, contending playoff level teams. So it's gonna be a good.
It's a good stretch. I'm with you. I feel like I'm just like riding your coattails here. Like I'm going 2-2 as well. I feel like it's a win. I just think the I don't know. I just feel like the Bears are going to be able to match up pretty well. Their defense, Matthew Stafford is kind of the X factor there. Like he can kind of eat up. They got, like you said, Ficky, they have a pretty good offense, but I'm going to go win.
Yeah, it's a warm weather game too. Like if we're playing, if it was Matthew Stafford playing in a cold game, right? Like later in the season, maybe it'd be something different, but that's still September. So Matthew Stafford balls out in warm weather and domes. So,
but has he balled out at Soldier Field ever?
That's a good question. That is fair. Not no Lions quarterback actually does well in Soldier Field, surprisingly. It's just crazy. Yeah. So.
Okay, so we'll go to week 5 here. We're all at 2-2 is what I have it here to start the first 4 games of the season. Panthers, I think, I thought we could all just skip this one.
W.
Thank you, Carolina. No, for real. Nick, you feeling obviously win here, Ficky, as well?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're much better on paper. Like this, it would have to be such a horrendous game. Like it would have to be Caleb Williams, multiple interceptions, maybe a fumble or something like that, where they get great.
Tyson Bagent,
great,
take care of business.
Come on,
Caleb. I think,
and they also have a new coaching staff too. You think about that?
True.
They're probably gonna new coaches don't generally do well. Like it takes time,
especially early
and
early
talent
in the
level. I mean, roster. I mean, they have such a long way to go for Bryce Young, man. It almost reminds me of Justin, just a little bit on the situations, both of them. But I don't want to spend too much time on Carolina. I think it's a dub. This one's really interesting. Jacksonville. It is in London, so it's considered a home game. I think,
which is crazy because I'm pretty sure the stadium is owned by the Jaguars owner.
Yeah,
so that's why they always do London.
The Bears are gonna try. Like I think it's gonna be a very Bears crowd.
Oh no, London. I'm not arguing that, but it's funny that it's like, oh, you own the stadium, but you make your opponents be the home team. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Anyways, Nick, I'll start here with you. I don't really have a read on this one with you, but what is your prediction here? Week 6 against Jacksonville. We got Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago winning this game. I mean, you look at like in terms of like even like probabilities and stuff. I know it's not necessarily a home game, but I mean the Bears are a better overall team than Jacksonville. I mean, and I know they got Trevor Lawrence, and they're trying to give him some weapons. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. could take a little while. That O-line is sorry, y'all. Like you're worried about like the pass rush Chicago can get. I don't know that they can keep him upright, and I don't think that defense is anything that's going to stop Chicago either. So I know it's going to be weird because of the time of the game and traveling and all that kind of stuff. But when in doubt, I go with the more talented team.
No,
I'm feeling the same way. It's very odd.
Yeah,
4-2 for me. I won't spend. Nick said it perfectly. Ficky, you want to add to that? How you feeling?
Yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth because it's like, do I use like bad memories I've had of this team traveling over the pond, right? They haven't performed well when they do, or play at weird times. So I think they lost the last time they traveled to London, right? They lost that game.
Yeah,
so,
but different. This is such a
Well, the
different
thing is,
team.
there's so I know, very true, but it's like it's hard to gauge teams playing such an outlier of a time. Because first of all, you don't have a lot of historical data on that because this is such a new thing for these teams. So I guess because it is a toss-up, you would have to go to who has the better roster on paper. And after, looking at the roster, and then also let's not forget Trevor Lawrence did lose Calvin Ridley too. He definitely got overpaid, but like that was a good weapon for him as well. We'll see if Ingram can have the same type of success he had last year, which was absurd, right? Probably not going to happen. He'll probably regress back to the mean or where he normally plays. So I have to agree with you guys on all that. On paper, we do have the better team, but don't be shocked if because of time and traveling overseas that a team, it could be them too, comes out just straight flat. So, but I'll take the dub and let's go 4-2 as well.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Jaguars. I just don't. For some reason, I like Trevor Lawrence, but even him, like I've watched him with some of these games, I'm like, he's made some crazy bad decisions. And I feel like the Bears, especially the secondary, and if we can get a pass rush, like you said, Nick, I mean, I feel like just the defense can really wreak havoc there. And I think I said both teams are going to be playing at a disadvantage in regards to just the layover or everything. It's going to be weird. But then we got to bye. Week 7. We're going to the bye. All of us are at 4-2 right now. And then we go into Washington, which, I mean, really good memories there. This one was last year was in Soldier Field. This one is away in Washington. I guess I'll start here so I don't feel like I'm jumping, on the bandwagon here. But I think this is an easy win. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. Nick, are you in the same boat here?
Yeah, I mean they'll have a rookie quarterback who I think
Jaden.
he struggles in terms of, which is weird. He's very fast and he throws within structure, but outside of structure, he kind of struggles. He gets sacked often for an athletic guy, which is kind of like Justin. He's a lot like Justin, to be honest with you. So it's
Very
like,
much.
and their offseason is like Tennessee. They signed a bunch of veterans on a team that needs to, like, they brought in Austin Eckler, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's new coach. It just seems weird what they're doing. I think it's an easy win.
Yeah, but I do like Jaden, like you said. I want to preface that because I think he has a possibility to at least succeed. We'll see. Ficky,
new organization, right? Basically, they cleaned house. They got new coaches. They got a new rookie quarterback. We beat them. I'm pretty sure last year, DJ Moore's game, that was in Washington. I think, not to correct you, Dave, but I think that was in there. So we beat them away. Montez Sweat actually had a good game that day. They don't have Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat revenge game, because I love revenge games. It's all set up for the Bears to win that one.
That was in Washington?
Yeah, pretty
last
sure.
Year?
It was what, Thursday Night Football or whatever. I know that.
Yeah, I think it was. Am I tripping? Maybe it was home. I can check. But either way,
remember that crowd going crazy. And if that's the case, they went crazy for the Bears in Washington like that.
Either way, whatever one it is, we beat them with they had a better roster last year, and we beat them.
I mean,
right?
DJ Moore should have 4 touchdowns that game too, by the way.
Facts. He got called out. That was dumb.
I know.
They
screwed us, man. Oh.
But I mean, he did kind of make up for it, though. You know what I mean? He literally got the yards back, but still, he had like 280. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure that was the week that Justin and DJ made me a lot of money in FanDuel. So I'm
sure. I had him in both my fantasy.
You're right, Ficky. It was FedEx Field. Yeah, I just remember the crowd go. It must have been very pro Bears, or it was me screaming.
Well, no one. I don't know. They're the Commanders. That most of the fans were most people don't support that team because of Dan Snyder. So there's now a revitalization of him being gone and the new regime kind of running things around there. So I don't think you'll see that as much this time. Like, the Bears do travel well, but I think the Washington Commander fans are like excited to actually support their team.
Hey, you know what else is just weird about that whole thing? It's like, okay, you get new ownership, like new hope, and then they don't get Ben Johnson. Like, they get like their third choice of head coach. It's like, then they don't get like I don't think they got their first choice of GM either. It was just like, what is going on in Washington?
I mean, do you trust an organization I know it's new people in there, but like Dan Snyder is like the worst owner that hasn't committed a crime or a racial slur publicly. You know what I mean? Like, he is god awful. So would you, if you're getting your first opportunity to be a head coach, I know there's a new regime and all that, would you be like, oh, let me go work for that company?
I mean,
hell no.
I mean, to me, you get to pick your quarterback. Like, that would be like the cool part.
That was enticing. I mean, the pick high number, they're number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
That's crazy. Ben Johnson said, nah, I'll stay at OC. I don't even want to go up. But you know what? We had something like that similar too with Ian Cunningham. 2 years ago, he got offered the Arizona Cardinals GM job. And he said, no, thanks. It's
Did he get
just
offered
because
this year too?
I don't know.
Or
if
he interviewed. I know he interviewed.
He definitely interviewed. I don't know if reports came out that he did. He easily could have, but he basically looked at the situation and was like, nah.
Well, I mean, he's building this thing. He's building this thing from the ground up with polls. Like, I think at least see it through for another year or two. Depending at, you have a chance here to do something pretty special in Chicago if all things go right. So, I mean, you could probably go, say all things in the next year or 2 or even 3, you win a Super Bowl, then maybe a little bit easier to move on. You saw it through and then, go from there. But week 9, go Nick.
Well, I was just going to say, like, if you think of like the most pivotal off seasons, the last 2 for Chicago, to have your right hand man with you, like, this is ideal. Like, we have to decide on Justin. We have 2 top picks. What are we doing with this? Like, losing Ian, I think would have hurt all of this way more than keeping him. Like, I was so grateful. I'm like, I'm glad that he's here. Like, I know having the extra 3rd round pick, 2 years in a row would be nice, but like, I'm okay with that next year.
Well, he already like saved us potentially a 3rd round pick from having, because Poles was wanting to trade up for Roma Dunze, and he's over here like, hey, let's sit back, let's relax. I don't know how that's probably not how it went, but just, Ian he's calm. He seems a great fit. Those two are working really well together. Like I said, a lot of good things on the rise for just the franchise, not even the players. Just I feel very, very good about the front office. And anyway, San Francisco, another good front office here.
It's flipped. That should be the Cardinals. This was the old one. So I think the Cardinals play at week 9, right?
Oh, okay. Nick, yeah, I think I actually have your
pull up the Chicago one, Dave, because I don't know if it's right on there. No, it's still off on that one. So
okay.
We'll have to flip it. But it's week 9 Arizona.
Yep.
Which I wish it was the other way. I'd rather play San Francisco early.
Okay, so we play Washington and then Arizona.
Yeah.
Which I can actually, I think, scoot this up a little bit here. So interesting. So Arizona, Nick, I'll start with you. 305.
So here is my curveball. I think that Chicago loses this game because every year you have one of those games you're like, dude, what just happened? Like, how did, this is one of my things as I'm, going to bash Green Bay because everyone's so high on them. Green Bay lost to DeVito and the Giants.
It's true.
And then beat Carolina by 3. But all people think about is the Dallas game. I'm just like, there was in that stretch too. But like, this is going to be that game where Chicago, like, they go to Arizona, they come off of, they're doing pretty well, crush Washington, and then just like a dud happens. And they oversee because they're looking at, maybe the future or whatever.
Happens every season. That's why we love the NFL, because it really is week by week. Happens all the time. So I'll go. I agree with Nick on this. Another big key. I think this is our first 3 p.m. game. And again, timing is always, it's something in the NFL that players talk about it. We're not just making this up, but this being our first 3 p.m. game, maybe it does throw, because they're like, these players are routine based. So you're off your routine here. It is an away game. Arizona, Kyler can look good. He's got one of the best weapons in the NFL now with Marvin Harrison. I can see us losing this one, so I'll agree. What is that? 4 and are we both 4?
You are no, you guys are 5-3. Both of you are 5-3. I'm going win here against Arizona. I like Kyler Murray. I'm just feeling a win. I'm going to go with it. I think 305. Who knows? I think it's just, I feel good about it, man. I like Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's a rookie, like wide receiver. I know he's generational and he's gotten that tag on him. But Kyler Murray, we beat him last year. I just feel like the roster's better. You're 7 games in now. You think Caleb Williams and hopefully, the offense are, probably firing on all cylinders, hopefully going into this matchup or even beforehand. So I just feel like the Bears, I feel really good about their season and where they're going to be at. So I think I'm going to call this one a win. And then we'll move into away New England.
W. I mean, come on. Like, again, you can lose to any of these teams, but I don't know what argument you can tell me. Again, new quarterback, new head coach. Like, what I mean, and it's not even them. It's not like your new quarterback's Caleb Williams. It's Drake May that people view as a prospect, and view as a project. And you don't even know if he's starting. It could be the Jacoby Brissett game still. And who are their weapons? Who's catching the ball? Like, they're one of the worst rosters in the NFL. I know they're picking third.
They were 4-13 last year, man.
Yeah.
So
to me, it feels like Drake May's getting that Justin Fields treatment. It's like, hey, good luck.
That is facts. Yeah,
and think of like the last 2 weeks, like they're both easy games. Like Chicago plays like 4 of the top or the bottom 6 teams in the league in terms of like projected wins. But to me, it's like Arizona's 1 year, with that regime with Gannon, you know what I mean? Like they have an established quarterback. Like I think they're just a little bit further along than New England is right now.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you said it, Nick. You touched on it. Their strength of schedule next year. The Bears have the 3rd easiest. Their opponent win percentage. I don't take this with a grain of salt, but it's 467. Yep. I mean, you look at the Cleveland Browns, who have the highest. It's 547. So I mean, I know take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like a lot of things are in the Bears' favor this year. This one's a W for me, which kind of is crazy. That's 7-2 for the Bears right now. You guys are at 6-3.
So
and then we go into go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
So this is just something. This is from Warren Sharp's website, but just in terms of that, Dave. So last year, the teams with the 15 easiest like strengths of schedules or going in predicted, 11 of them had a winning record. Didn't matter who it was. So 11 had a winning record. And then of the 15 that had the hardest strength of schedules going into the year, only 5 had a winning record. Like that stuff matters, y'all.
Yeah. Wow. Because if you think about it, right, there's going to be some teams that flip from being bad to good. It happens. But that number is still less than 5. Right. So if you're in the bottom half, you're only losing about a third of those where maybe they're projected wins to losses. So you still got 2/3 in your favor, right? So because of that, from a number standpoint, it's easy for you to get 9 games, especially with 17 games you play now. So yeah, that's why
of the 17 teams that had the hardest schedules going into the year, right? Only 4 made the playoffs.
Yeah, because good luck. I mean, there's only so many spots, right? And if you're hardest, that means you're literally just battling it out for those 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Shout out to Warren Sharp too, though. I like.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
He puts out a lot of
good
analytical stuff. So
okay.
Question though, how many have we agreed on so far that are basically we're like that's automatic W? Like, is it Titans?
I think it's only 2, right?
Titans,
or 3 maybe?
Carolina, and Patriots.
Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. We're about.
I can see Tennessee. Yeah. I agree. Tennessee, I don't know. It could be weird.
Oh no, we didn't do Tennessee, right? Because Nick picked him as a loss.
No, I had a W.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, so still, that's not bad. We're about halfway through, and about 4 of them we feel confident on that we can.
But hey, we go into we beat New England. We feel real good. Probably this is nice. Then we got Green Bay, the Green Monster, Jordan Love for Lambeau. Yeah, in Lambeau.
No, this one's matchup. Lambeau's at a week 18.
Yeah.
This one's
I'm getting confused. Yeah, with the marker. Okay, that makes sense. So home, I like that then, to be honest. So you got Green Bay at home.
Thank God it's not a primetime game. My God. I know the last one is, but I'm
not afraid, man. I don't know why this team has me too damn confident. And I know it's May, but I just feel really good about like every game this year. Like as far as being competitive.
No, that's fair, but Packers us primetime, and again, this is PTSD on me, so I'll take the blame.
But like Ryan Poles said, this is different, dog. This is different. Like I just feel like they got their guy, and I'm not gonna. Now if they shit the bed this year, like you said, Ficky, then I'm right back with you. I'll probably have it for the rest of my life. But I'm taking off the chains, the bad seasons. I'm leaving it there, man. Like obviously. I said if everything goes, to shit this year, then maybe. But I feel good, man. But I want to start here, Ficky, with you. Green Bay at home. it's probably going to be a big matchup, man. Like, to be honest, the division's going to be crazy already. And is this our first divisional game?
It is.
Lord. So yeah.
And out of the last
then he got a gauntlet.
After the last 7 weeks, there's only one that's non-divisional, and that's San Fran.
I feel like that's why it's so important to beat obviously Carolina, beat the Cardinals.
Well, yeah,
maybe
you need
beat
them. Because literally all of these last 7 games, I mean, Vikings probably not, but literally all of those are 10+ win teams.
No, don't give me. I mean, the Vikings could be tough.
No, I know that, but I'm most likely that you're going to have 3 10-win teams in one division, and I think we could be like we're better than the Vikings. But even still, this is a gauntlet, like you said. Good luck.
That's why you take care of business, win some games that you should on paper, and you could probably give yourself a little bit of cushion down the stretch because it is going to be a crazy division. But what are you thinking, Green Bay?
Best case scenario is that we have handled business where we need to, and the confidence is high going into Green Bay. So let's say we're like 5-2 or something like that, or whatever the number is. If that's the case, I feel really, really good that we can just keep that train rolling and beat Green Bay. All right, this is tough because Dave, me and you have both said this on this podcast many times. We can't diss or not pick the Packers until we actually beat the Packers because we have never seen it. Okay. We have never seen it in such a long time. They have our number. But I think this is a different time because it's Caleb at home and he knows how important it is to beat this team. Not just him, but I think a lot of people on this team understand that this is the biggest crutch. They're circling this matchup and saying, we have to win this game. I think they view this as a playoff game. And I think if they treat it like that, they view themselves as a playoff team. So I think this will be a great test for that type of environment. And it is at home. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to take the Bears. It's hard to believe that I would say something like this, but I don't even believe the words that just came out of my mouth.
I like how quiet Dave is. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I'm going with a loss here. And this is based off of just those statistics. So Green Bay is coming off a bye week the week prior. Chicago isn't. So you think of like they'll be healthier. They'll have 2 weeks to game plan, all that kind of stuff. So if all things are equal, I think that extra rest is a factor here.
That's fair.
Yeah. I want to go with, you got me pumped up a little bit, Fake. I ain't gonna lie to you. Got me a little amped, juices flowing, but I can't pick against Green Bay. I said it. I don't know, maybe week 18 or week 17. I'll see when we get there in a minute. But yeah, I'm going loss here. Hopefully it's close. I just don't want to get blown out. That would piss me off, honestly. But hopefully you have some confidence. You go in there and you fight. So
how do you guys feel about not playing Green Bay or I guess any division game early and they're all late?
I hate it. I don't like it.
But the other side of the coin is like, you know what you are at that point. Like you have a better understanding of this football team, and that might be beneficial for us with a rookie quarterback. Look at the Packers last year, right? Love went on his like firestorm the last 6-7 games, right? The first half, everyone's looking at the Packers, including us, like, yo, this team's garbage. Jordan Love is trash, right? They kind of figured some things out. They got once he figured it out, they're like, all right, let's go. Maybe it's not as rough of a start for Caleb, but maybe by this time we kind of understand, like, that he has a better understanding of the playbook. We know that the players have a better understanding of the plays. Maybe we're gelling just a little bit more and we kind of just roll through this gauntlet. So
I think it's interesting, Nick. It's a good point. Like I said, I hate it off the rip, but I think some of the toughest matchups probably come at the end of the season because our division's so good. So you kind of get some layups like we talked about, and you're not. Yeah. So I think there's like pros and cons to this where it's like, you better be ready. You better be healthy. that's a big thing here because it's going to be a lot of war, a lot of games, man, a lot of battles here. And hopefully the Vikings aren't as good as I think, because I'm pretty high on them. So, but I have them as a loss. Just to give a quick recap for, obviously people watching YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Nick is 6-4 on the season. Ficky and I are both 7-3. Heading into our second divisional game at home, JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, and the Vikings. Nick?
We're home, and I think we wax them. Like, I don't think it's close. I think that they come back. They're mad they lost to Green Bay, and this is like what Ficky was talking about. This is one of those Caleb's like, because I was at the Notre Dame game, y'all, when USC lost last year, and at the end of that game, when it was over, it was decided. Caleb was running. Caleb was trying. Like he's got that in him. So like, if you got that dog in you and you just lost to Green Bay when that was like the big thing, the next week, like, you watch out. That dog's going to be mad.
Yeah. It's like my Knicks a couple of days ago. But yes, I think so too. Like, he gives that vibe, doesn't he? He gives like that "fuck you, I'm gonna get it now" like type of attitude, which I love. So based off your, absolutely. Based off your scenario, 100% I would agree with you on that. I'm gonna just look at the roster and say, hey, I think we're better, and it's at home. And to be fair, we typically play well against the Vikings out of any of the NFC teams, right? Like, I think we put up a decent fight, or, we've beaten them a decent amount of times. So I still feel confident that we can do that. And again, I know this is kind of like a cop-out and like a reasoning, but you got to look at the quarterbacks. Like, this is a quarterback-driven league. So the first thing you do is, when you look at this matchup, is who has the ball every play? JJ McCarthy. Do you trust JJ McCarthy with his weapons? Of course, you got Justin Jefferson and Addison. It's not like they're bad weapons, right?
I do.
Or do you trust that more than Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, DJ Moore?
I don't know, man. I just think the Vikings are going to be sneaky. I don't know.
Maybe on some other teams.
JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson's he's the best in the league. And then Jordan Addison's tough. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I'm taking the dub. I'm taking the dub on this one.
So a couple things in this. So I liked McCarthy coming out. I had him as my QB3, but what the NFL said was very interesting. So New England was like, we are not trading this pick, because apparently they got offered the 3 first from Minnesota. They said, nope. We knew who that was for, because when pick 4 came up, and 5 and 6 and 7, Minnesota wasn't giving up 3 first to go get McCarthy, or maybe anything. I don't know. We don't know everything, but it didn't happen. To me, I'm like, if you got to give me 3 firsts, I'll give up the Joe Alt pick, Yeah. And then Atlanta, we know what they did. They decided to take another quarterback instead of JJ McCarthy. So that's another team that's like, you know what? I'm not so sure on this guy. And then the Bears do what they did, and then the Jets flopped picks with them, and no one else jumped ahead. The Raiders needed a quarterback. They didn't give up the haul to get him. So to me, I'm like, well, am I right? I'm McCarthy, or what did the NFL say? Because it's their jobs on the line, and they didn't trade up the haul to go get him.
Right. Yeah. And what is he? Was that like him QB5, right? That was taken right before Bo Nix. So, I mean, like, the NFL's been wrong before. Aaron Rodgers fell all the way to 17, but I think he was still QB2 in that draft, right? He was still the second, I think, quarterback taken in that one, even though he may have fell late. QB5 is different. Like, that means 4 other people in front of you, they said, no, we'd rather have that. And maybe 1 or 2 are wrong. Yeah. Maybe he's really QB3, but even still, So I
just think, as far as landing spots go, and maybe that's what's weighing, Kevin O'Connell, like, big fan of his. I don't know. I just think as a landing spot, it's maybe not good as Chicago, but
it's a good
when you factor in the Bears issue with quarterbacks too, I just feel like it's a really good spot for JJ. So, which I am. Who is your number 2, Jaden, or do you have May?
I had May too.
Wow. So you had Jaden 4.
Yeah, I had Jaden 4. Yeah. The other part to it, and that's not for fantasy, because I do fantasy writing. He's higher than fantasy, but this is just NFL. Right. But I like all 4. This isn't like, I'm not dissing anybody. The other thing too of why I have this as a win, and you talked about the weapons, is TJ Hawkinson shredded his knee on the day before Christmas or Christmas last year. And so I'm not sure when he'll be available, and this is week 12, but still he might not be back.
He'd be coming back
the same guy yet. So
he'd be coming back right around that time ish. So, but you got it. Doesn't mean you're ready to rock and roll. So
right, it wasn't just especially with the knee. It was
like
it was a multiple ligament thing.
It was a bad one.
So
was that from a hip? That wasn't from a hip drop, was it? I don't know. Not to put you on the spot.
I can't. Oh no, I think that was someone just they tackled right at his knee.
Oh yeah, that sounds very painful. So, but that's a good point. Obviously it's hard to predict injuries and when people are coming back and whatnot, but
can't. Yeah.
I agree with you, Dave, though, that like that's a favorable, I'd say that's the second favorable spot for a quarterback. I think Atlanta might be higher, but Kirk Cousins in front of them, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, overall, though, like if it's not the Bears, like that is, you got Kevin O'Connell, you got the best wide receiver in the league. You got TJ Hawkinson when he comes back, Addison. So yeah,
Aaron Jones too now.
Aaron Jones,
a bear killer.
Bear killer
anyway,
has effect.
So we go into the Lions at home, or I'm sorry, away.
This is
Lions are 12-5 division Thanksgiving, which I'm excited about. Thank God. I just love the Bears on Thanksgiving. I do. And so I'll start with this one, I guess. I right now I have the Bears 8-3. I'm actually going to have this one as a loss. It kind of sucks. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but to kind of keep it a little bit more realistic, where I can't pick the Bears to win every week. I'm going to go, and I feel like really could be a close loss, similar to last year. Hopefully it's not a meltdown like we saw with Detroit, but we played really well against both times last year. So I'm going to go win, or I'm going to go loss, move me to 8-4. Nick, how are you feeling on Thanksgiving?
I think that my Thanksgiving day is going to get ruined. I'm going to be mad. Yeah. The Bears are going to lose. I mean, again, Detroit's good. I know we played well last year. They got a squad, y'all. It's on the road. And that, again, coming off of a win, and then down to a loss. Because sometimes you're a little bit less motivated after a win.
Ficky?
Good point. Of course, I go against the grain. I'm going to actually take this one as a win. I think this is a surprise away game that we pull off on Thanksgiving. We've beaten the Lions on Thanksgiving before. The Lions have not looked great against us in a long time, right? So I could see us doing it. First Thanksgiving game for a lot of these Bears players, so maybe they take advantage of it. It is an early game, though, so again, that timing, who's going to be prepared for that? But
I love it. I actually love that 11:30. Let's get it out.
So do I.
Way.
You get it right before the meal. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And then it's like, if you lose, it's like, all right, now we got food. Get a little happier, and
you can eat away your pain, and then
exactly.
watch the Packers lose at night.
If you win, it's the same damn thing. You probably eat more. I don't know. Depends.
No, I agree though. It's having it first is like let's get it out of the way.
9-3, Ficky right now.
Yeah, trust me. It's not going to be all rainbow and sunshine in this back five. So
one thing to keep in mind, I'll keep this quick, is I always go to. I'm getting married, by the way.
Congrats!
In 2 Sundays, so it'd be very quickly here. But we always go to her side of the family for Thanksgiving, and they're out just outside Detroit. So I'm going to be hounded, either way how it goes. So
dude, Detroit fans are
they're awesome. They're awesome. Yeah, they're wild.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Better that than Wisconsin, though. So
brutal, man. It's brutal up here.
That's tough.
So we got San Francisco in California. So we all feeling L here?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Nick's got me thinking he might be thinking W on this one. I got to go L. I'll make mine quick. Like, I don't think we beat them. They're a much better team. It's an away game.
Nick?
It's not happening.
The wheels are turning.
I'm going with the dub. So here's why. Okay. So when we think of, again, the rest, right? You just played on a Thursday. You have all those days of extra rest. You'll be healthier than San Francisco is. And also, San Francisco doesn't play on noon. They play Sunday night football the game before too. So you have the extra rest, plus they have a little bit less rest than normal. On top of, you just lost to Detroit on national TV. You talk about Caleb and them being hungry. They're going to be hungry for this one. I think this is one where people are like, oh, hold up. Maybe the Bears are legit.
That's fair. I'm not mad about that. That'd be great.
Goosebumps City.
Dave, right what about you? Would you wait? Actually, here's a question real quick. Would you rather, like by choice, have a win on Thanksgiving or the Bears upsetting a better team like the 49ers?
I would rather win on Thanksgiving because everyone sees the game versus this game. Yeah. Probably. Well, I mean, what time is this game?
3:25 time slot, but subject to change.
Yeah.
That's
I think you're right. I also with your family. I mean, my whole family's Bears fan, so I mean, it's just we win, everyone's feeling good. If we lose, it's like it kind of almost ruins a little bit of Thanksgiving. So I'll go with that one, but I'm going loss here though. Simple as that. I'm hoping it's close. Keep saying it, but and I think it could be. I think it really will be. I think a lot of these games are going to be. I don't think the Bears are going to be. There's no reason they should be blown out. Keep it short. So in a lot of these, so Vikings away.
I think this is the
stadium Kevin Warren built.
Yes, facts. Facts.
So,
we don't know where this new one's going to be. I'm going to go win. I think we can actually sweep the Vikings.
okay.
I think that's the only sweep we're going to have, but I think that is if we're going to sweep a team in the division, I think that's the one. And to be honest, if we want to make the playoffs, we have to sweep at least one of these three teams. We have to. And this is the easiest one to possibly do it because the Lions are great. The Packers at least showed last year that they're better than us, right? They may regress a little bit, but if you had a choice to pick which one of these teams is the worst one, I think we would all agree that we're better than the Vikings on paper. Yeah. So I'm going for the sweep here.
Nick?
I have an L here. Again, coming off a high win of upsetting San Francisco, and then Monday Night Football, It's like, oh, seriously? Yeah, I've lost. Plus, Hawkinson might be back for this week if you think it's a month later.
Should be.
Yeah.
I like that you guys don't know where I'm going to go. I like this. This is kind of fun.
No, I love it. I love it. It's great. So it makes the show great. Dave, what about you?
I'm going win. I'm going win here. I think they pull an upset and take care of business against JJ. So, Nick, I have you. Let me see here. So, Nick, you're at. I'm at like 10-5 or 9-5.
Okay.
I'm at 9-5. Ficky, you're at 10-4. And
Jesus.
Nick, you're at. Do I have this right? Are you 8-6?
I'm 8-6. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I
did not know I had 10 wins.
Yeah, you're feeling good, Ficky. Which is fine. This is good. This is good.
That's not how I came into this. I was not necessarily thinking.
And you're stuck. You're stuck with this prediction the whole entire year. There ain't no goal. I forgot to mention that early on, Nick. You and Rob talking. You can't change this. This is it. You do the same script.
All right.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. So 9-5, Ficky 10-4, Nick 8-6, and we go into Detroit at home.
I'll start this one. Oh, I got Chicago winning this game. They're mad about what happened against Minnesota. They lost on Thanksgiving Day. They're going to come and take care of business against Detroit.
Ficky.
Man, I feel like me and Nick have been on a roll of being opposite on the last 8 picks, which is great. I'm going to go a loss here. I don't think we can sweep Detroit twice, even though Jared Goff would have to have the same type of horrible games that he had last year.
Well, we didn't sweep him last year.
That's true. We should have.
Close.
Right? We couldn't even do it then. But also, to be fair, on the other side of the coin, Jared Goff has never played well against the Bears. Ever. Now, he's only played them 3 or 4 times, so it's not much data, but I just feel like they're gonna handle business. I mean, they're the much better team, I would say, than us. At least that might be different, this late in the season, but they're definitely the better team. So I'm going to take the L here.
I just think of Goff when McVay and then came to Soldier Field in 2018.
Dave was at that game.
Dave was there. Goff looked terrible. Last year, Goff didn't look good at Soldier Field. I just think it's a thing.
It is, which is so weird. But also, he didn't look good in Detroit either. I think that's the game we won, right? We lost the one at home because we blew the lead, or was it vice versa?
No, I think it's flipped.
But flipped? Yeah. So it hit. Those were both, actually, all 3 of those games were multi-interception game. 2 of them were 3 interceptions because it was the Rams. He threw 3 or 4.
Yep.
And Mitch also threw 3 or something like that. Crazy. And then the one we won, he threw 3. And then the one we lost, I'm pretty sure he threw 2 and fumbled or something like that. So.
Dave, what was that game like, man?
In 2018?
Yeah.
That was fantastic, dude. It was. So I was with my uncle, and it was 2018. So later in the season, the Rams, you remember, were on a roll, man. That offense, they had that Monday night shootout with KC. Just an insane offense. And then you come to Chicago, and it was, Mitch looked awful. But it was Goff was so much worse. It was really cool. I have all the interceptions, basically all that on my phone that I took videos of. It was the atmosphere. It was like a playoff game that we actually ended up pulling out. But the offense was so bad. But I didn't even feel bad, or I wasn't even upset with the offense because the defense was so electric, man. and then Goff was terrible. So it was honestly that win it's one of my favorite games I've ever been to, just because of the team they played, the caliber, what it meant. Like it was Sunday night, right? Sunday night game, Sunday night matchup, and it was insane. So
what a Bears answer though. Like no other fan base is like, oh my God, what a great game. That was so exciting to see the defense dominate.
Yeah. Well, it's just the feelings that came out of it though. The feelings that came out of it also was like, because the Bears were really pretty good.
Yeah.
But then it was like they beat like LA and they did it convincingly on the defensive side. Like no one up until that point in that season was able to stop the Rams from scoring. And and that was at the end of the year, or at least pretty close. So then you're like, oh my goodness, the Rams are number 1 in the NFC at that point for the most part. Everyone's like, okay, these guys are contenders. And then the Bears did that to them. So I was like, we have a legit chance, and we all know how it ended. I get it. I'm going to bring it up. It's like, I felt like really good as a Bears fan. I'm talking to my family, uncle, some friends. Our section, everyone went home just drunk. It was crazy, man. I was like, I was actually the only one who was sober. I had to drive. So anyways, long story short, one of my most favorite memories. And so I had a lot of confidence going to that one.
And to be fair, that season we were riding on the defense. Like, so that was our offense. It wasn't like that was the first game.
Except for the Bucs game.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, yeah,
it's just 6 touchdowns. Wild.
6 touchdowns.
Wild, bro. Yeah. Almost breaking records. But yeah, I just love that answer, because it's like you imagine a Chiefs fan saying, well, our offense looked like dog shit, but what a great game because of the defense. But I agree. I was hyped.
It's changing though. It's a new era of Bears football. Actually, I don't even take it back. It is a new era, but we're still going to get a really damn good defense. Thanks to Ron Poles and what they built. So we got the Lions. We finished up that one. Are we in Seattle? At home now?
Home.
So
Thursday night football.
I love them. Day after Christmas?
Yes. On Netflix. Is this Netflix?
No, that's on Christmas Day.
Netflix is Christmas? Okay, this might be Amazon or something. I don't know.
They might actually have the day after. So I'll start with you, Nick.
Oh, it's Thursday night, so it's Amazon.
I'm predicting a win here. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm going Dub. Yeah, I think that I like Seattle and what they're building, but I don't trust Gino's been falling off a little bit, and plus he just lost his coordinator, right? And they got a whole new coaching staff there. I think that Chicago takes care of business.
I agree. Everything Nick said. So I think we pull this one off. Also, Bears play surprisingly good on primetime games if it's not versus the Packers, and they do surprisingly really good on Thursday Night Football. So
that's true.
I don't know why, but they just do. That's the game they decide to show up. So
Thursday night, I'm going win as well. I don't think they're going to lose this one. I don't. So 11-5 going into week 17. Green Bay Packers. It is in Lambeau. Perhaps a lot on the line, or at least seeding, and maybe even divisional. It's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a big game. Like I said, it's one I'm really looking forward to and hoping that there is something to play for, unlike last year. So, Nick, I'm gonna end it here with you. You're 10-6 right now. It's a monumental game. This is the end of the year once again against Green Bay, unless you make it to the playoffs, of course. How are we feeling? Where are we leaning? Green Bay, Chicago.
Caleb gets his revenge, and Chicago dominates at Lambeau. And I think it's going to be like something epic. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's a close game, and like Rome, like Moss is like Jair, something, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, like Caleb's that dude, and we did it there. And it like gives us like the division title or something, because I have them at 11 wins. So like, I think they'll get the playoffs at 11, but I think this is going to be like to win the division, or like, seeding or something. I think it's going to be something pretty special.
I hope you're right, man.
Oh my God.
I hope you're right.
That was painful to hear. Not because of you, Nick, but I'm just like, my brain was trying to like predict something like that happening. It's like, can't compute. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That'd be fantastic.
You guys got to clip that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. And when it does, yes, we're going to put that on repeat, and don't worry, you'll get hella views for that beautiful prediction. But God, to follow that, like you convinced me in a way, but then I'm like, man, the Bears fan in me is like,
okay, more things. I forgot about this. Extra rest, right?
Yeah, we
just
talked
played
about
Thursday night. You get those extra days.
game
my
plan
bro.
as well. If you're any nagging injuries.
Yep.
Exactly. I like it.
2015, no.
All right,
man.
Ficky.
Okay, so we can beat the Packers out of one of the two games, right? I already picked them to beat one. I don't think we're sweeping them, right? This is in Lambeau. So if I took the risk to say we're beating them at home, I'm going to have to say we're probably going to lose this one, which is okay. I think that it's not going to be your typical Packers loss in Lambeau, where it's like multiple touchdown, difference, margin of win, right? So I think we play well. So I think when you think about like playoff implications or like the morale of the team going in, I'm not seeing as big as of like a beat down or like demoralizing loss compared to those of the past. So it's a loss, but I don't think it's going to have too much effect moving forward.
All right, so Nick, you're 11-6. Ficky, you're 11-6. I'm 11-5. A lot of hangs in the balance here. I can go with you guys. We can be a real boring 11-6, 11-6, 11-6 across the board, but I can't. I'm gonna go win here, and it tops off a 12-5 season. I guess I don't know how I got here.
I'm not mad about it.
No, I think Green Bay is tough. I really hope the Bears could. I think you sneak in. I think you get in actually 11-6. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I think you can almost win the division just based on how it's going to be. Teams are going to be pummeling each other, especially down the stretch. So let's see here. Yeah, 12-5. I'm going to go win. I have no idea how it's going to transpire. I just hope we get a win. That's all I'm saying.
I'm proud of you, Dave.
Thank you. 12-5.
I know it's tough, man.
12-5. 12-5 in Super Bowl.
Wait, man, I picked some ones against the grain. It's just not the Packers, okay?
12-5 though. If you go 12-5 rookie year,
that's crazy, bro. You
well,
answer
11-6 is a hell of a season too.
You answer the one question that all I care about. Are you the QB1 moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because most likely it's not going to be a 2018 defense carrying you because of just the weapons on offense. That means like, okay, Caleb Williams is our guy. Check. We're all happy. Even if we lose a playoff game, we feel comfortable about the next years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Say real quick before we let you go, Nick, first of all, thank you. It's been an hour and a half and you're just talking ball with us. So we appreciate it. We're going to get you out of here. Go ahead and check out the Bear With Us podcast with him and, of course, the great Robert Schmitz over there. I'm sure you guys are going – I don't think you've went live yet to recap this.
We haven't recorded in a while, and he's out of town, so
I know
won't
that.
be able to do it.
Well, he had his breakdown. I checked in a little bit last night because he has a little breakdown, that he did. So I was like, I'll check in, support Rob. But yeah, you guys got to get back on the grind. But it's tough, man. There's not sometimes outside of this is like something to talk about actually. But the last couple of weeks, it's been like, that was a cool video on Bears Bears Twitter. We can talk about that. But no, real quick before we go here, Nick. This is from our producer Jack. He got this info. Current get-in price for week 1 is $400 in Chicago. To preface that or to compare it, last year versus Green Bay, it was only $300. So the Caleb Williams or something, or I don't know what effect it is. Also, obviously life is more expensive as the years pass, but $400. It's up $100. And shout out to our producer Jack, who kind of came with that info. And also, the Bears are open as 4-point favorites in week 1 against Tennessee.
They better be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, goodness gracious. I do have a final question though for both of y'all. It's like, which most likely will happen, or what will more likely happen?
Mm-hmm.
More games of Caleb Williams throwing multiple interceptions, or more games of 400 yards passing?
Man, I'm going to go. That's tough because he doesn't throw a ton of picks, but 400-yard games are tough to come by.
That's crazy. Have we had a 400-yard passer ever? Cutler, maybe?
I feel like this is – I'm going to take some guys back here. I feel like Jim Miller to Marcus Robinson had
way back.
1 or 2 games like that. He had a stretch at the end of a year where he went nuts.
Late 90s, right?
I think you have to go multiple interception games here, though, Nick.
Yeah.
Just because I think Caleb, he's going to try to get away with some things early, probably. You would hope that he could probably that he's gonna learn real quick. Okay, I can't make that throw. And he also is just a wizard like that. So some are gonna work, but I feel like some are gonna be like, okay, I would like to have that one back. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's just gonna happen down at least I would say maybe 2-3 times. So,
Nick, you're spot on though. 1999, Jim Miller threw for 422 yards against the Vikings on November 14th. That's the last time the Bears
you're a
have
sicko,
had a
Nick.
400
just pulling that
yard
out the hat. He's like,
I was 6, so yeah, that was. It's been a
you
minute.
were 6?
Yeah, 1999. Yeah,
I was 2.
there you go, bro. So yeah,
I was like, yeah, no way. I'm like, there's no reason. I'm like, I don't even know who this is. I mean, I know.
I was 14.
Okay, that the brain's a little bit.
Nick, you look so
developed.
young though, dog. Like I'm just
Especially
being honest.
for being especially
Huh?
for being a Bears fan, because that
Appreciate
takes a toll on people.
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
Facts.
Yeah.
Impressive. They
Yeah,
gotta
no,
study you.
Honestly, like it's just such a great time. Like it's so tough to look at this season and where we're at, and to think like, yeah, we're probably gonna get 7 wins. Like I think it's way more likely that they dominate than they have, because the over under is what, like 8.5, I think, or something like that. And I've already bet the over, by the way, y'all. But like it's tough to even see them going to 8, because like so many things have to go wrong. Like the defense has to be so bad. You have to have so many injuries. And it's like you still are going to have at least 2 of the receivers. You know what I mean? Like I could see Bajent winning a bunch of games with these weapons.
He's done it.
You know,
he's done it
like,
with less.
It's tough to envision a bad scenario. I know it's tough to say that, but I'm just being legit.
Nick, what's
Hey,
your
boys?
floor then?
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I guess there's I have someone in my family's having an emergency, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
So do you mind handling this?
Yeah, I got
Fick?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Sorry, boys. Yeah, I just got a text. I'm like, that seems serious. So if I can pop back in, I will. I'm so sorry, Nick, as well. First of all, thank you so much for hopping in here.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah,
I'm
no
just gonna
problem.
check
Obviously.
here. Let me pull
it's
this
family.
up here, and then you guys will be good to go. And yeah. But anyways, thank you so much, Nick. I'll obviously text you guys, let you guys know. So
Yeah, absolutely. Keep me in
family first,
touch,
man.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
thanks.
So, my question was for you, Nick. I view the team's floor as like 7 wins. Like if things go really, 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 really bad, right? And that's not counting a Caleb Williams like season-ending injury, because that basically throws everything out the window. But what do you view this team's floor from a win perspective?
Man, I'm higher than that one. I feel like, I don't know, it's nitpicking one win, but probably like 8. I mean, because like you go through also, I mean, I know I marked them down for a loss, but you're playing Arizona, New England, Washington, Carolina, and Tennessee. That's 5 games that they probably should go 5-0. And then you still have 12 more games. If you go 500, that's 8 wins. It's like, and you're going to be favored in more games than that. It's just like, it's tough to envision it going worse than that with, like I think the defense is going to take a step back. Like,
probably.
We didn't get the pass rusher. We were top 5. Like, I think they'll probably be around like 10 to 13, but that's okay, because the offense is going to be top half of the NFL, maybe top 10. And like, that's fine. I think the balance can be a little bit different, but it's just tough to envision. Like, and plus I did a whole breakdown of the Tory Taylor pick. Did you see that? The how punting can help. Did you see that? Whole thing?
It can obviously help. It's a game of inches. I mean, that field position is huge. Being in your own 5-yard line versus starting at the 25, like your success rate of scoring points on that, there's a dramatic difference in percentages. So that's
and Trenton Gill was so bad, man. He was so bad.
Did you see what happened today, though?
I did. I saw your tweet. I love that.
Okay, that was, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, wait a minute, he just got picked up. For those who don't know, Trenton Gill got picked up, signed by the Broncos at maybe 12 o'clock, and by 3 p.m. he was cut. I was like,
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, he came in. They were like, he's been signed. And then literally 3 hours later, they were like, nah, you just got waived. So I'm like, did he come in, punt? And they're like, no, that ain't it. Or was there maybe medical? He didn't pass a medical or something.
That's
I had not seen that. 3 hours. What information are you getting in 3 hours other than medical?
That's terrible. I thought he just signed it there, and he was either you or Dave. I think someone's like, "Wow, he's going to get a lot of work in Denver." Like, because they're going to be bad.
Facts.
But,
No, that was Dave.
Okay, but like, I know it's thin air and he could probably punt further, but I know he got cut again. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, my tweet was a little bit more gruesome. I was like, wow, his stint was about as short as his punts. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was a little more harsh on it. I know he's a human and that's his career, but I was like, what? Like,
but like,
why even bring him in? I don't know.
That's weird. But like, back to it, like, you get like 4 or 5 more net yards for every punt. Dude, that's like the difference. Like, you think look at last year. Like, we had those 3 games where we should have won. Like, even those, like, okay, you add like 20 more net yards throughout that game. And some of those teams probably don't get that field goal. They don't get whatever. It's like, or maybe we're just out of field goal range, but like, we would have been in field goal range if the back and forth punts would have been better earlier. Like, you go through that, it's like, I mean, Chicago should have won at least 2 more games last year. If we're just being honest.
Broncos
9 wins. Yeah, you add in the more punting, like you could be at, and that's where you get the Bears at 11, 12 wins. It's like, it's easy to see that. That's before Keenan, Caleb, Rome, etc. Like, every team improves, but the Bears just improved dramatically more than everyone else.
Oh yeah, there's never been this big of a transition from a team this quickly, at least in my opinion, because most teams, if you have the number 1 overall pick, that's going to that quarterback. So that's like your boost there. And you're not getting much other boost outside of that. We got the quarterback and the wide receiver. And then also in the offseason, we somehow were able to pull in a dynamic wide receiver, another one with Keenan Allen. Like, those 3 things all happening with one team in one offseason is hard to do.
Like,
there's so many things that have to go right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you could, it's almost like a script. Like, and I also, like, a 4th for Keenan Allen. Like you go, like, I was going through with Rob, like, after the draft, I was like, okay, these are the guys they could have picked. It's like, I'd rather pay the salary to have Keenan for a year versus in a bad draft.
For a rookie quarterback too, he's in the slot, easy 3rd down conversion machine. Like, that's the perfect pairing for a rookie. Like, if you were to take all these wide receivers out, like just Keenan Allen alone from a rookie standpoint, because he's a very much a safety net type of, like, find the soft zone, get the 5-10 intermediate yards type of ordeal. He can do more than that, but like, that's like a quarterback's, that's basically like a extended tight end is how I view it. And that's typically a rookie quarterback's favorite target because it's a little bit easier to locate and deliver the ball. You don't have to hit someone 20 yards downfield. So yeah, just that alone. And then you already have DJ Moore here. And then, oh, wow, look, I guess we got big ball energy. Let's just go sign Rome. I mean, let's go draft Rome and Dunze too. Like, fuck it. Like, bring it. Yeah, I just made that one up, but
I like it. I mean, like, I think, and this might be controversial, I think that Keenan Allen leads the team in receiving yards. Like, I think people don't know how good he is. Like, he is so good. And plus, in terms of timing, how the offense is, I think he actually fits what Waldron wants a little bit more than DJ Moore does.
I agree. I could easily see him having more receptions. I think DJ is going to be more of your big play type of ordeal. But like, if you look at the history of Keenan Allen, he's a reception king. He always has near 100 or plus receptions. I don't see how that's going to be any different this year. And with 100 receptions, it is not hard to get over 1,000 yards or get as many yards as possible. Like, even if it's dink and dunk, like, the numbers just add up. So I 100% agree on that. I mean, just so many weapons, like from top to bottom.
How do you guard us?
I don't know. Like, running back room has always been decent. You upgraded there with DeAndre Swift. Your tight end room got better with adding Gerald Everett. Like, and Cole Kmet was already good, but like, it got better.
I just think of the Cleveland game, man. With, like, I think of the tight end room. I think of the Cleveland drop by Tunyon, you know?
Yes. Why?
Like, Gerald Everett catches that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have, like, those situations, like, obviously the wide receiver room upgraded as well. Like, every position group other than, I would say, offensive line got better. And you're hoping your offensive line gets better also from, like, they had a lot of injuries last year, right? Some of them, it's like their second, third year in it. Like, you think about Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
It'll be Nate Davis's kind of, like, I want to say first year, because last year he was dealing with the personal issues of a death in the family. Like, it's a lot to deal with. So you're hoping, just like from a reset standpoint, they're probably better. And then also you have someone who's going to throw the ball quicker behind, which we talked about, behind the line of scrimmage. So hopefully they don't have to block for 8 minutes, right? So
and maybe,
all that
maybe a
together
center that can snap the ball too.
Oh, forgot about that. Hopefully, like goodness gracious, bro. Why we have never had a decent center since like it's been a minute. It's been a long time.
Man.
I was gonna say
Olin
since Cruz. And back with Olin Cruz, I know a little off topic. That line was dominant. Cruz, Garza,
Fred Brown,
like for like a good amount of years, like 5 to 7 years, they had a very solid offensive line.
Sorry, Fred Miller, Ruben Brown.
Ruben Brown, yeah, Ruben Brown was a tackle. Fred Miller was he a guard? Right?
No, for Fred Miller, I think was right tackle. Ruben was a guard, came from Buffalo. You mentioned Garza.
Garza was a guard.
Yep.
Cruz was a center, obviously, but yeah,
check out left tackle.
I mean, if we could get a solid line, this offense would be like there. I mean, if we can get a solid line like this offense, at least on paper, easily top 5.
Dude, and so it makes me think, like, you think of, okay, what's going to happen next offseason? And I know that I think way too far ahead with some of this stuff.
Why not, man?
But okay, let's say they go 11, 12 wins, you know, they win 1 or 2 playoff games, they lose in the divisional or NFC championship game, whatever. Think of like almost Lions. Like that would be a great season. You're Keenan Allen, okay? You're Ryan Poles. Are you like, you know what? I'm going to let you go. And Keenan's like, I want to have top of the line money. Or is Keenan like, you know what? I'm going to be 33. I don't know how many years I have left. I want to win. Am I going to take some kind of discount just to stay here and keep this little thing together? Now, I know everyone's not going to hit the huge numbers that they could hit. Right. But if it's about winning and if it's about, I already got this thing going with Caleb, maybe he stays for like a decent discount. Like not like a ton, but you know what I mean? Like he gets like 18 to 20 a year.
I don't think he has a choice. I actually think that because I also have been thinking ahead. I think he might get franchise tagged. Oh, I know that would be very expensive, but like for 1 year, so you tell me you get 2 years of Keenan Allen, that's definitely worth it, right? 1 year is definitely worth it, but 2 is also like good enough. And then you can let him go, obviously be like 34 or 35 at that point, and Rome's your guy.
Yep.
2 years in, you've developed enough, right? You'd be able to tell if like Rome's your guy or not by year 2. So that's why hopefully I like your idea better. That's cheaper. Hey, come on back. Look, we can win here. Here's a little money, but
like
you might
I know DeAndre Hopkins has been like chasing like the most money he can wherever he goes, but like Keenan's older already. He was at the pro day. Like he's in my mind, if you're Keenan Allen, I know you're chasing numbers and he's gonna be a Hall of Famer already, I think. But like what do you want out of the last few years? Like you've already made your money, you're gonna make some either way. Do you want to win? Or do you want to like go to, you know, I don't know, the Raiders, you know?
Nobody ever says they want to go to the Raiders unless you're getting paid.
Devontae Adams did.
He didn't have a choice. He got traded, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. I mean, like you have to sign that big deal.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Raiders will overpay. So that's the only reason why people want to go there. Cause it's like, here, look, go live a happy life. So not on the field, but outside of the facility, you'll be a very happy man.
And the one thing too, like I've talked about this with Robert. It's like, think of like 3 receivers and think of, okay, if you could like dream up, Ficky, like, okay, what 3 types of receivers do I want in like a room for like a team? You know, I want like the big dude in the red zone. Then I want like the playmaker dude. And I want the guy like no one can guard in like the slot. It's like, dude, we got all 3 of them. Like it's like you couldn't like script it better than what we got.
Very, very intentional because they are all going to be able to they're all going to be able to be utilized in multiple ways. And again, it's like Keenan Allen is a slot and Rome is a true X, I think, right on the outside. Yep. And DJ is outside. He can get moved around. So they're not fighting for that position. You know what I mean? Which you'll see sometimes people will take like the best player on the board or at least on their board. And then it's like, well, that's kind of like someone's already in that position, right? It's not a bad idea. Take the talent.
The Giants, right? With all the little receivers they have.
Yes.
I thought they should have went Rome instead of Malik. Like Malik's 6 foot. They got all these guys that are like Jalen Hyatt, Shepard, trying to think of all Wan'Dale Robinson. Like they have all these guys. It's like, why don't you get the 6'2", 6'3" dude to mix with that room? And they went Malik Neighbors. I don't know. I thought it would be weird.
Yeah, they haven't made the best first round decisions recently. So good luck with Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's It's going to be interesting. Well, Nick, I do appreciate you hopping on. I know your guys' pod goes on for a long time when you guys go. So I was going to say this is hour 45, but I'm like, yo, that's light work for you guys.
This is normal, man.
Yeah, which is great. Before we go, though, I just want to give a shout out to all the people who watched and joined. If you have not seen the Bear With Us podcast or listened, please go give them a follow now or go subscribe to them on YouTube. They do, Nick and Rob do great work. Follow them on Twitter, Nick at Nick Whalen, right?
At _ Nick Whalen.
There it is.
Dude, the original guy hasn't tweeted in like
it always
8
be like
years,
that.
But whatever.
It always be like, and then you hit him up like, "Hey, can I have that?" And he's like, "Yeah, 10K." And you're like, "Okay, I guess I'll throw an underscore under there." So, but yeah, please give Nick a follow. They do great work. They do great work on. He does great work. He does great work on Twitter as well. And then obviously their podcast is fire, and they've been recurring guests here before. So we really do appreciate that. And then just like,
me, man.
Yeah, no problem. And if you don't mind, I'm just gonna kind of roll through our little stuff or whatever, or I guess our promo or self-plug. But we do have new merch out right now. If you go to the BFR pod or the BFRstore.com, we have I cannot speak English today. We have hats, we have shirts, we have sweatshirts, and we're working on new merch as we speak. So if you go ahead and go there, it'd be great to support the show. We really do appreciate it. And then obviously we have a Patreon as well that is up and live. We do have a member. We got our first Hall of Fame Grizzly tier member. So shout out to Gage for joining on that. Because he signed up on there, he'll be get 1v1 Zoom calls from Dave and I and some other exclusive stuff. But if you want to join for free, you can do that as well. It is the BFR Den on Patreon. Very easy to find. It's also in the YouTube description as well. And if you want to join the rookie tier or the rookie Grizzly tier, you will get a free BFR merch. We do giveaways in there. We are going to be doing a mailbag episode, and you'll get access to our private Discord. There's people in there active as well. So just a bunch of free, great value in there. And once fantasy football comes along, right, we will have a fantasy football league in there as well, as long as our Madden league and NCAA league once that game drops, which I'm super stoked about. Yeah, I think that is it. Jack, did we have any final questions or anything you had starred? Oh, you muted, my guy.
Dude, real quick, man. Dude, those sweatshirts are fire you guys got. I'm just checking out right now.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Those are cool.
They're pretty comfy. I'm not gonna lie. I've been repping one inside, and it's really nice. But yeah, get into the merch game. I mean, I love the merch that I'm almost like, wow, I wish we would have thought of that, the one you're wearing, because that is fire. But we'll be working on it. I think it's fun also just to get that stuff out there and give people a reason to support and rock. So we do appreciate everyone in here. Jack, did you have anything for us though?
No, man, you're all good.
Oh, awesome. Well, again, we appreciate everyone that joined the show. Shout out to all of y'all. This has been such a fantastic offseason. Like, I feel like I could talk about this wide receiver group for like daily. Like, I don't know. It is weird to be in a position that you've never been in before. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like I'm just psychotic and people are probably like, shut up, we've heard all this, but like, this is stuff you dream of.
It's just like what I talked about at the beginning. It was like, remember the feeling you got the first preseason play when DJ Moore took the screen to the house, and now you got 3 of those guys. It's like it feels like we're spoiled beyond belief. Like you should pinch us and wake us up from this dream we're in.
Crazy. Do you think there is another big move on the way? Or let's put it this way, maybe not in the offseason. I'll let you answer that. But Poles is known to make trades midseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do you think there's someone else that could possibly come through that door? If you were a betting man, which I know you are, would you bet that there's someone else of high quality that might be coming through the Palace Hall?
Well, so the first one is I want them to get Calais Campbell, sign him so bad. Like he fits, he's a veteran, he can play inside, outside, he stops the run, which is what Flus wants in DNs more than rushes the pass. Like it just makes so much sense, and he's good. He was. And I know people like this, some people don't, but like PFF, Campbell was better than Montez Sweat last year, y'all, at 37. So like, he still can get it done. I was actually thinking about that today, how Poles, traded for Claypool, traded for Keenan Allen, traded for Montez Sweat. Like, he's not afraid to make a move. I feel like, I mean, if this is rolling, like where they're at mid-year, like I have them at like 6 wins, 7 wins early on. And before they get to the tough part of the schedule, I feel like he's going to make a move for a D lineman. Like, I think it just makes sense.
Man, don't get me excited.
And like the other thing too, you had touched on this, is like you start off easy, getting Caleb's feet wet, the offense, and easy teams, you get all these wins, and then you play the hard games. But also injuries happen. Like it could happen to other teams. Like Detroit could like lose somebody, or someone could lose somebody. And it's like maybe these teams later on that look hard now aren't going to be as hard. So like I'd rather have the harder teams later, to be honest.
I do too, because you have enough time to like figure out your team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you start to get into a groove. You typically, I mean, there are some cases where teams start out really hot and then just shit the bed. But most cases where you see like the team, let me put it this way. You'd rather have the team be hot on the back half going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'd rather you get us like the real like, let's warm you up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, here's some easy teams. Let's make you build up some confidence. Like, you guys are good. You guys are good. And then it's like, boom. It's
college football. College football. You're playing an FCS team right away, that you work into the SEC schedule,
And so that I'm excited about that. I mean, I wouldn't, if I was a schedule maker, I don't want like all 6 of the games to be, all 6 of the NFC North games to be in the final 7, maybe sprinkle, like, give me maybe 4 or something like that. That typically happens, but that's not up to me. So hopefully this team can show up. I guess we didn't really talk about this. This will be the last thing.
All right.
Playoffs, right? They're making the playoffs, right? You agree?
I said over this weekend, like I almost guarantee it. Like I think they're making it. Like it's tough to, and I know it sounds weird, but like the NFC's weak, and it's like if you had 7 wins, should have had 8 or 9 last year.
Yeah.
Without all these guys, it's tough to envision them not making. I mean, even if you get 9 wins, you might make the playoffs. Like they're right there already.
So are you thinking 7 seed, 6 seed? Are we second in the division? We third in the division? We winning it? Like,
if I had right now, I'll say 6 seed, second in the division, probably 10 wins.
You know what? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if we sneak in, I think we're getting 7. If it's like, you never know near the end because games are so close, like records wise. Right. I could see us getting 7, but I feel like we should make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't, it's probably a disappointing season. I think most fans would probably say it's disappointing unless we have a winning record and our division's just like there's 3 teams that are 10 wins or something like that, and we just don't make it because our division's so hard, while you have something like the NFC East where like a team with 9 wins gets in or something like that. You know what I mean? Because they won the division. So it should be fun either way.
No, I agree with you. The only disappointing thing that I have from this whole offseason, Ficky, is knowing that next year, you played NBA Jam, right?
Oh, of course.
He's on fire. Like Ryan Poles can't check his heater and get the first overall pick 3 years in a row because he didn't trade for another first. Like that's the only thing that's disappointing. You know what I mean? It's like,
you're right.
Man, that would have been so sweet.
Well, maybe we ship someone out. You never know. You never know. You never know. No, I don't. I hope we don't ship anyone out, especially for a first. That means it'd have to be someone like pretty good. So no, I'm cool with that.
Can you imagine though? Like Paul's like, you know what? I'm gonna move down from 9 just to see if I can do it 3 times.
That is crazy, bro. That is like for a team that has had only 1 first-round pick, I think, or for 1 number 1 overall pick in their history, and it was like forever ago. I think it was like maybe in the 80s or something like that. To then get 2 back-to-back, and the second one's not even yours. And this is the first time I think that the first overall pick was from a trade that, like, they traded for the pick and it ended up being first. I think it's only been done like once or twice.
The last time I heard this one today. It's funny you had this one. It was a pick traded for
OJ.
Some quarterback. Yeah, it was traded for some quarterback that never played, and then it turned into OJ Simpson.
Yeah, that's it. I think we both saw the same clip. I was like, wait a minute, it's been that long, but that's wild.
I know. It's like, but man, if Pulse could check that here, that would have been so sweet.
There's still hope, Nick. There's still hope. So that'd be a perfect scenario. And well past due. Like, this team has sucked for a long time. We deserve all of it. Give it all. I will be greedy now because we have seen years and years of just ass, just tremendous trash. Like, come on.
I'm just looking forward to the clips you guys do and the memes and stuff, man. I'll just be retweeting all the fun stuff.
Got to, man. Got to. And I hope you're in some of those as well. So again, Nick, thank you for joining. Awesome show per usual, and you'll obviously be back. And thanks for everyone else who hopped in on a Wednesday night, especially when we just went live Monday, but definitely had to talk about the schedule and the hype behind that. Playoff bound, right? I feel like that's what we're decided. Maybe it's Super Bowl, right? No, probably not. But
let's go.
But let's get to the playoffs first and see what we can do there. So again, thanks to everyone that joined the BFR podcast. I think we'll be back next week. And then for our Patreon users, we'll be sending out the schedule this week about the exclusive content that will be coming to you guys near the end of the month. And if you want to join the Patreon, please go ahead and hit the link in the bottom of the YouTube description, or you can go to the BFR pod on all socials. It's in our link in bio up there near the top. And if you want to support by buying merch, we do appreciate that as well. And that's all we got. Nick, any final words?
No, man, it's just a busy time for me. So if you guys want to, send out some thoughts, I have an interview that I'm hoping that I'm going to get a job, and then I'm getting married in 2 Sundays.
No, thank you. Marriage is already you've been planning that for a while, so that's set. Everything's gonna go great. And I'll tell you this, Dave just got promoted. I literally just got a new job today, promoted. Jack got his job at Soldier Field this week. Literally, this all's happened within like 1 week. So I'm telling you, the energy, that's yours, my man. There's no question. So next time you're on, we'll congratulate you for your winnings there.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it, man. Congrats to you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it. This has been great. Thanks again for hopping on, Nick, and we're out. Peace.